Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome to the online video class session of sociology. So, my dear students, we have been discussing about the various sociological perspectives to understand the society. So, in our previous class, we discussed about the ontological perspective, so which is explained by the Manu in Indian point of view, and we have also discussed about the structural functional perspective, which is explained by M.N. Srinivas and S.C. Dubey, Sham Charan Dubey. And whereas we have also discussed about the Marxist perspective, so which is explained by Durjati Prasad Mukherjee and D.P. Mukherjee and A.R. Desai, Akshay Ramanlal Desai. And today, let us discuss about the one of the most important perspective, the subaltern perspective. Here, the subaltern perspective is explained by two important personalities. So, in our last class, we discussed about the brief introductory about the subaltern perspective. So that the subaltern perspective is nothing but it is explained about uh, it is explained about to study the society from below perspective. Here, the school of thought are adopted the history of uh, from a below perspective. So this is what we have seen that actually, and the Gramsci first were used the word subaltern, and the the David Hardiman's the contribution. So actually, David Hardiman is one of the modern historian in India, and was the founding member of the subaltern group in India, and he was also visiting fellow of the Center for the Studies in Gujarat and also in Calcutta. So he was, of course, he was belongs to uh, the other part of the country. Actually was born in London, but he was very much focused on the Indian studies, about particularly uh, in the in the subaltern point of view. Actually, if we come to the his life sketch, that he was born in the Rawalpindi, which is located in the Pakistan, and he was brought up in England by his father, his parents, and he was also got education from the London School of Economics, and his entire life is the career life has started in London itself. But whereas moved towards the India, so that is why it was somewhat attachment with India. So if you come to the writings, it was written number of books that Quit India movement in the Gujarat, the peasant and nationalists of Gujarat, and the coming of Devi Adivasis assertion, which is highlighted in the western part of the India in 1987, and he was also focused on the resistance, the peasant resistance in India in 1858 to 1914 or 12. Sometimes it is considered as 1912 and 1914. But this book is exclusively focused on the peasants and their problems, and why they are starting agitations, and why they are started resistance. So these are the things are highlighted from the British India to the modern India, and it was also focused on the subaltern perspectives. Uh, it was influenced by the Ranjit Guha, who was the father of the subaltern perspective in India, and he was also focused on the feeding of banias. So here, in the feeding of banias, he was focused on the peasants and the users in Western India, particularly in the western part of the India. And he was also focused on the Gandhi in his time and the uh, ours. So he was focused on the Gandhi's legacy, how the Gandhiism and how the Gandhi's legacy was continued after his death. And these are the things was highlighted by the thinker, subaltern thinker, David Hardiman. So uh, let us discuss about the sociological perspective of the subaltern perspective by the Hardiman. Actually, the David Hardiman focused on the glimpses of subaltern perspective by his writings. And Ranjit Guha he was one of uh, the founding father of the subaltern perspective in India, and Ranjit Guha's influence is directly influenced the so the David Hardimans. And Ranjit Guha's the relationship of dominance and subordinates in India is inspired him to write dominances and subordinances. So that book was very much influenced by influenced to the David Hardiman. And David Hardiman also inspired by the works of West theorists like E.P. Thompson and the Genoves and Elizabeth and Genoves of the blend. So they were focused on the exploitation with the paternalism in the slavery system of the American South. So here in the American South part of America, uh, some of the people were exploited by the American Native Americans. So these fellows, the Thompson and the Fox Generals, were focused on the exploitation of the Americans. So that is also inspired to the David Hardiman, because he was also focused on the subaltern people who are in the India. So then automatically he has a view, a look over the Western scholars. And not only Western scholars, he was also influenced by the writings of the Karl Marx, who is considering as the father of Marxism, and he was also influenced by the Antonio Gramsci. So here Antonio Gramsci was one of the most important, the subaltern thinker of the Italy. So when Italy was under the rule of Mussolini, he was raised his voice, but against against the voice of the Mussolini, the Gramsci was kept into the jail. So the most important personalities were influenced to the David Hardimans while studying the society in a below perspective. Perspective. And if we discuss about the Devi movement, which is highlighted by the David Hardiman. So here, what is Devi movement? Actually, the Devi movement is one of the movement by the tribals. The Devi movement was started as a small ceremony among the fisheries folk at the Palghar Taluk in the Gujarat, which is started in the year of 1921. But later it was spread to all the parts of Gujarat. Here, with the Devi movement, Hardiman tried to look up the subaltern perspective from his study, the Devi movement. So here, what is Devi movement? So it is considerable a number of people. Uh, the Devi movement was actually sub, it is a ceremony of tribals that they are uh, strongly believed that in front of the hills, all together, irrespective of their gender, they sit on the hills in front of the hills, and the Devi will come and she will speak with them. So this kind of the ceremony is uh, became a tremendous activity among the tribals, and it was changed them into culturally, particularly they were transformed their culture, and the dominance of the upper caste like Banias and other groups were somewhat decreased with the initiation of the Devi movement. Here, the Devi was supposed to have come from the mountains to mountains, and she expressed her demands through the mouth of a spirit. The medium of sat before the crowd and holding the red cloths in their hands. They, they began to shake their heads with the slogans of the Devi and with the words of the Devi. So here, what are the commands of Devi? If we go to the commands of the Devi, that the Devi used to insist or used to suggest to the tribals that they have to stop the drinking of liquor drinking or toddy. So they have to uh, promise, they have to obey the promise of the Devi by holding a red cloth and moving their heads. And at the same time, the Devi also suggested them to stop eating meat and fish. So that is also a kind of initiation by the tribals themselves, and they are respected to the Devi. And the tribals have to live in a clean manner and a simple life according to the suggestions of the Devi. So that kind of suggestions was given to them by the uh, a girl Devi. So they strongly believed that the Devi is came to change their lives, and the man should take bath twice a day. So this is actually the tribals were some somewhat unclean, but with the initiation of the Devi or Devi activity or Devi movement ceremony, the Devi was suggested them that they have to take bath for a twice in a day, and the women should take bath thrice in a day. So these kind of cleanliness activities were proposed by Devi. So this is Devi movement, which is explained by the David Hardiman, particularly in a subaltern perspective. So what happened with the Devi movement? But with the Devi movement, uh, in with the impact of the Devi movement, some of the changes have taken place. The subaltern, if you observe it in a subaltern's perspective, some of the cultural changes has taken place by the initiation of the Devi movement. So, like this, the David Hardiman was particularly focused on the tribals and their socio-economic conditions, and their dominant, their hegemony, the hegemony of the upper caste like Banias in the Gujarat. So he was created a clear gap between the Banias and the tribals. So this kind of the gap was came with the consciousness of the tribals, with the effort of the Devi movement. So in this perspective, here the tribals were conscious and got some kind of alert, and they were socially, economically, and culturally increased their cleanliness. So this is what about the Devi movement, which is explained by David Hardiman. And my dear students, one more important person who has expressed his views about the subaltern perspective, so is the none other than the Ambedkar, who is considering as the father of Indian Constitution. So he is also focused on the society in a subaltern point of view. So he was studied society from the Shudras point of view. because the society is divided into varnas, like a caste system. So as being a depressed class people or depressed class person, he was studied the society from his own perspective, means below perspective, or that is called as the subaltern perspective. So here, let us continue, or shall we stop here? Okay, so tomorrow let us discuss about the Ambedkar's contribution to the subaltern's perspective. So, my dear students, here I am stopping the session, and here you have to keep in mind that there are different kinds of perspectives to study the Indian society. The first one is the ontological perspective, and the second one is the structural functional perspective. The third one is Marxist perspective, and the fourth one is subaltern perspective. Here, each perspective is most important. We cannot understand the society without these perspectives. Generally, we used to say, oh, what is society? Society is nothing but a group of people. Of course, it is right. But within the society, there are different kinds of the variations. So if we want to understand the different kinds of variations, we have to study the intentions of various perspectives and various thinkers. If we have only one sense, we can understand the society in only one sense. But if we have understand the society in all aspects, then only we can understand the societies in a clear manner and a full length perspective. So that is why we should not ignore any perspective. We can understand the society in a ontological perspective. We can understand the society in a structural functional perspective. We can understand the society in a Marxist perspective, and we can also understand the society in a subaltern perspective. So the authors who are contributed their ideas, it is based on the length of their efforts. So that is why we should not ignore any perspective. Okay, so bye. If possible, let us discuss tomorrow about the subaltern perspective of the Ambedkar. Okay, bye, take care.